The strategy with questions like this is to list your options and then think about the probability of each one occurring. But the list of possible ways is really the key to the whole question, or the whole solution. So, for example, the first one. To get 3 consonants, then I would have to get a consonant first, and then second a consonant, and then third a consonant. That is literally the only way. What is the chance of getting a consonant first? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them out of the potential 8, 9, 10 letters that there are altogether. So now, for the second one, there are only 9 cards left. And how many of them are consonants? 6. And for the third one, there are only 8 cards left. And how many of them are consonants? 5. And then I just multiply that together. 7 times 6 times 5 over 10 times 9 times 8. And then write that as nicely as possible. 7 over 24. For part B, we want 2 S's. So that could be an S, and then an S, and then a not S. The other card doesn't matter, but just not an S, 2 S's. Or I could get an S first, and then a not S, and then an S. Or I could get a not S, and then an S, and then an S. And these are the possible ways. So now we think about the probability. What's the chance of getting an S first? It's, how many S's are there? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 S's out of 10. And then for the second card, I've only got 9 left in the pack, and only 2 of them are S's. And then for the third one, I've got 8 cards left in the pack, and only 1 of them is an S, which means 7 of them are not S's. So I'm just literally thinking through what is the chance of that happening. Now, for the second option, I would have chance of getting an S first. There's 10 in the pack, and 3 of them are S's. Now I'm going to want a not S. There's 9 in the pack, of which, 2 of them are S's, which means 8 of them are not S. 2 of them are S's, 2 of the 9, which means 7 are not S. And then finally there would be 8 cards, of which 2 are S's. And then the third one, there are 10 things altogether, 7 of them are not S's. Then there's 9 now because I've taken 1 out, and 3 of them are S, and now there's 8 and only 2 of them are S. So notice that on the top I've got 3 times 2 times 7, 3 times 2 times 7, 3 times 2 times 7. The order doesn't matter. And on the bottom I've got 10 times 9 times 8, 10 times 9 times 8, 10 times 9 times 8. So what I would do with this one is I wouldn't bother thinking through what the probabilities are here, because they're all going to be the same. What I would do is 3 over 10 times 2 over 9 times 7 over 8 times 3, because there are 3 possible ways of this happening. So that gives me 3 times 2 times 7 is 42 over 720 times 3 is 7 over 40. For part C, at least 1 S. Now the easiest way to think about at least 1 S, because that's quite complicated. I could have S, not S, not S. I could have S, S, not S, S, not S, S, not S, 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 S. I could have all those possibilities. Or, easier, I could think of it like this. Basically, what do I not want? I don't want not S, not S, not S. That's what I don't want. Or anything else is fine, but I want at least 1 S. So if I work out the probability of not S, not S, not S, then I can do 1 minus that, and I will have the probability of at least 1 S. It's much simpler. So in this case, it would be 1 minus. So the first not S, that would be a chance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 out of 10. I already knew that. Don't know why I had to count. And then the next one would be 6 out of 9. And the next one would be 5 out of 8. So if I multiply those together and do 1 minus, 7 times 6 times 5 on the top. And that gives me a final answer of 1 minus 210 over 720. 17 over 24. Okay, last one. the first two are both S. I mean, we've practically done this loads of times, I think, already. So for the first one to be, so this is this scenario from part B, but none of the other two. Not this one, not this one. Literally S, then S, and then I don't care what happens after that, actually. So the probability is going to be, what's the chance of the first one being an S? It is 3 out of 10. What's the chance of the next one being an S? 2 out of 9. So altogether 6 out of 90, which simplifies to 1 out of 15.